Hi friends, Shawnee Jones here. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making chocolate chip cookies. Won't be using regular wheat flour or almond flour. Instead, I'm going to be using Garbanzo bean flour. Garbanzo bean, also known as fava or chickpea. I personally use Bob's Red Mill, but you can use another brand if you like. So, as with everything in all my recipes, I mise en place everything before I start. Mise en place means that you get all your ingredients out that you need before you start. And another tip before you start your recipe is to always read your recipe from start to finish. Why? I'll give you a couple reasons. First reason would be you want all your ingredients readily available, so when you're moving along with your recipe, you have everything and you don't have to stop and run off to go get something else. Second reason is when you read through your recipe, you want to make sure you have all your ingredients, not partials, but complete, full recipe. So let's get started. I'm going to go through all the ingredients that I have measured out and ready. So we're going to start with 1/4 cup of sugar. You can use refined sugar. I'm using Truvia. I like Truvia products because they're lower carb. I also have 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can use regular brown sugar, but again, I'm using Truvia and it is light brown sugar. I have 1/2 cup of coconut oil. I actually used coconut oil, and I melted it, so it's in a liquid state. I have 1 egg, which is at room temperature. Be sure you have your eggs at room temperature. I'll tell you why when we go through in a little bit. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup and 1/3 of garbanzo flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, not powder, baking soda, a pinch of salt, and I have 3/4 cup of chocolate chips. They're sugar-free chocolate chips. There's different brands out there, but I personally use Hershey's, or you could use Baker's chocolate unsweetened and just chop it up. So what we're first gonna do is we're gonna take our sugars and our oil and we're gonna cream them in our mixer. So 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and our coconut oil, which is melted into a liquid state. Now I'm going to use my spatula just to make sure that I get all of that in that mixer. And we're going to mix this at like 2 or 4 just to get it incorporated. Now the egg, you want to make sure your egg is at room temperature. Why? Well, if you use a cold egg, what's going to happen is it's going to increase the bake time on your baking products. So be sure to use a room temperature egg. And you can set it out and let it come to room temperature, or you can simply put it in a bowl and run it under warm water. So we're going to add our egg now and our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Pick it up to 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dry ingredients, which is my garbanzo flour, and I'm going to take my 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda, and my pinch of salt. Whisk all these together just to make sure that they're incorporated. And then I'm going to add this to my wet mixture. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. As always, if you see product and wet ingredients stuck to the side, you can always stop it and rise it up and scrape down those sides, because you want to make sure that everything that you get in there is incorporated. Now everything is coming together and it's becoming a thicker mixture, like a batter. So stop it again. And we're gonna scrape down those sides. See, everything's getting stuck together. It's looking really good. So it's getting everything that's on the bottom in that little cubby. And then after this is done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold in our chocolate chips. So that's good. And see, it's in a good state. It came right off that whisk. So, my oven is preheated. I started my preheat before I started, and that's what your batter is gonna look like. So now we're gonna take our chocolate chip, which is a 3/4 cup, and I'm gonna fold them in. Before I started, which I forgot to tell you, was I have a cookie sheet to the right of me, which I have a silk hat mat on, which I'm going to bake my cookies on. You can use parchment paper, that's perfectly fine. And if you don't have either one of those, you can grease your cookie sheet with either a cooking spray or rub it down with butter. But when you're folding in these these chocolate chips, you just want to make sure that you get them evenly incorporated throughout your dough, so each cookie has a good amount of chocolate chips and it's not just dough. So mine look really good right now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this stuff aside and I'm gonna get my cookie sheet. And I have one that's 1.5 tablespoons. I'm gonna go a little bit less than this. And I'm gonna pop them on there like that. And this will fit plenty. I'm only going, I'd say maybe about a tablespoon. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and I'm gonna pop them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And when we come back, we're gonna see how they look. Hi, so I've been baking my Garbanzo flour chocolate chip cookies. I put them in for 9 minutes and I monitored them. I gave them a flip at the halfway point just so they baked evenly. And at 9 minutes, I checked them. I put them in for another minute and the timer has just gone off, which I stopped. I see that they have nice crispy brown edges, so I'm gonna take them out. Here we go. So what I have prepared here is a cooling rack. But before I put them on the cooling rack, I want them to sit for about 5 minutes, just so they cool a little bit, and they're still going through standing time, so they're still really cooking. But they look great. Nice brown bottoms, not overly done. So I can actually take that one off. Look at that, yeah. It's like a nice golden brown. So what I'll do is, I'll put a couple on there, but that's how you do your Garbanzo flour chocolate chip cookies. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on Garbanzo flour chocolate chip cookies. I'm going to continue to bake the rest of my dough and have a great day. Bye.